As you guys can see at the top left corner, we are getting more than 120 FPS while emulating Pokemon Sword on Android. Yo, what's up guys, it's ApTreX here. Today in this video, we'll be taking a look at the latest update of Skyline Enhanced Infinity Emulator. I'm talking about the version 1.2.0 which was just released today, and it has some changes that are implemented from Strato Emulator Android. Along with that, we have gotten some improvements in stability as well as some minor bug fixes. For more details, I have attached the changelog right here, you can read it, and the credits for this emulator goes to Riggs Gaming. You can follow him on Instagram. Anyways, I have already updated my Skyline Enhanced Infinity version to 1.2.0 as you see at the top left corner. If you guys don't know, then it is actually an forked version of Skyline Emulator which also includes few changes of Strato Emulator. We'll be testing out some games and see how well does it actually perform. With that being said, let's start out by talking about the best settings that you can use in this emulator. Let's scroll down, make sure to disable dock mode. Afterwards, enable show performance statistics, GPU driver configuration. We can also use the latest Mesa Turnip Adreno driver revision 17 in the Skyline Infinity 1.2.0. So right here I have imported the latest Mesa Turnip driver. We'll be using this and trying out some Nintendo Switch games on this latest update. Anyways, execute a slot count scale, we'll set it at 6. Direct memory import, make sure to disable it unless you are playing games like Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. Post maximum clocks and free guest texture memory will be enabled, including fast readback and writes. Once that has been done, let's head back and our settings should be successfully saved. Now I think this is the first time that we'll be actually trying out Skyline Infinity Emulator on my iQOO 12. This device has 16GB of RAM and Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 processor, so we should possibly get amazing results. On my device, I have many games like Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, Demon Slayer, etc. But most of these games don't really work with Skyline Emulator. Let me prove that to you guys. By the way, at the top left corner, you'll be able to see the FPS bar will be in purple if you haven't disabled frame throttling. And yeah, as you guys saw, Demon Slayer Hinokami Chronicles just 4 stops. It is the issue with Skyline Emulator, and I think that will be fixed in Strato Emulator, which will include major improvements in terms of compatibility. So let's enable the disable frame throttling option. Once that has been done, this time we should get more FPS. Let's start off by testing out Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu on my Android device. So let's choose the controller type, and at the top left corner you might be able to notice we are getting more than 150 FPS. Let's just go ahead and tap on continue adventure, and as you guys can see at the top left corner, we are getting almost 300 plus FPS while emulating Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu on Android. Just take a look at how fast the game is actually responding. This kind of frame rate is really not playable, and it always amazes me. Like nowadays the flagship devices have gotten so better that you can literally emulate Nintendo Switch games at more than 100 FPS. That's why I always tell you guys that if you want performance specific Nintendo Switch emulator, then you'll need to go with Skyline Emulator. It doesn't support the newest titles, but surely it can run games at really amazing frame rates. Like even 130 plus FPS in outside world scenarios is super crazy. So let's try encountering a Pokemon, and you will notice the FPS go down by a little bit when you travel around. That's because of disk shader. Shaders will compile. With that being said, next up let's just go ahead and try out Pokemon Sword and Shield. I'm also curious to see how much FPS can we get on such an big title. I'm not using any kind of save file, so it will take some time for the game to load, though it's not going to be a problem because I can see at the top left corner we are getting more than 140 FPS while emulating this game, so the cutscenes are super rapid. So as usual, disabling frame throttling will have its pros as well as cons. The pros will be that the cutscenes will go much faster, so you don't have to waste time on checking out the cutscenes, but the cons will be that your device might get heated up in the process of achieving such high amount of frame rate. Anyways, there we go, our game is about to start, and I think this is the fastest game loading speed of Pokemon Sword that I have ever seen without using a save file. So yeah, our game is already about to begin, and I'll be super interested to see how much FPS can we get once we head outside. And here's the moment of truth, and immediately after leaving the house you'll notice that frame rates have dropped by a huge amount because the shaders will be compiled. So immediately when you start moving around, the FPS will go down. That's because first of all, this specific area in Pokemon Sword is really hard to emulate, and the second part is that all the shaders will be compiled once you start a new game. If the shaders aren't loaded, whenever you try moving around your characters, the FPS will go down. But now that the shaders are compiled, we are getting stable 50 plus FPS. If you might be able to see that at the top left corner. But if you give it some time, then definitely you will get more than 60 FPS. As we have seen previously, I was running Pokemon Sword at more than 100 FPS on my OnePlus 12 in the same Skyline enhanced Infinity emulator. So yeah guys, that's going to be it for today's video. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, turn on all notification as I upload similar videos on my channel. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.